المكتب التعاوني للدعوة والإرشاد وتوعية الجاليات بخميس مشيط.
So the narrator of the hadith, his name is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, Abu Abdul Rahman Abdullah ibn Mas'ud al-Thaqafi radiyallahu anhu. Before Islam, actually, when he was young, he was a shepherd working for the Meccans. He is from another tribe, from Taif, but he used to work in Mecca. He became among the great scholars of Quran. Yes. And hadith, of course. If you're a scholar of Quran, you'll be a scholar of hadith. Okay? Actually, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day, he, along with Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, during the early times of da'wah, there was a secret period, and da'wah was given to certain people who could keep a secret. Yeah, this deen didn't come to us. Now, Allahu Akbar everywhere in the world. You open the internet, you go everywhere, media, you see, and there is more enmity against Islam. The more it spreads, he gets more enmity because people disagree with Islam. This is expected. So the Prophet ﷺ, along with Abu Bakr, they were walking on the mountains of Mecca, and they were panting, they were very thirsty. And they met this young boy, a shepherd. And they said to him, "Can you just milk one of your sheep for us? We're very thirsty, we want to drink." He said, "They're not mine. And my master didn't allow me to do that." They said to him, "Can you bring a goat that has never become pregnant?" He said, "Yes, if you want this, it's up to you. Go ahead, be my guest, milk it." So the Prophet ﷺ made dua, and he put his hands on the udders of that goat, swallowed, was full of milk in front of the eyes of this young boy. And he said, "Can you bring a container?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Bismillah." And he gave Abu Bakr to drink and drank. He gave him to drink, and he drank milk. And he also, the Prophet ﷺ, drank. And he said to him, "My son, you will be a learned boy." He saw a miracle in front of his eyes. But the greater miracle, that this orphan, this shepherd, became one of the great scholars of Islam. And this is another fulfillment of the prophecy, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that he would be a scholar. The story about Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, when he became a Muslim, and Surah Al-Rahman was revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's called the bride of Quran. Very beautiful. Ar-Rahman. He said, "By Allah, I'll go and recite it. I'll let those polytheists hear the word of Allah, the beautiful words of Allah." The companion said, "Abdullah, you're very thin." And he was very thin. There's something known about him. And you're very thin, and they will beat you up. You don't have to do that, and you don't have to do it. God, by Allah, I'll do it, even if they kill me. But he had a very strong voice and a good recitation of the Quran, that the Prophet ﷺ, whoever wants to hear Quran as recited as it was recited by Jibreel alayhi salam, okay, because recited not only in the ears of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, but also in his heart. Let him listen to the recitation if Ibn Abd, because they used to belittle him. They will call him Ibn Abd, his mother, Abdullah. They didn't say Abdullah, they say Abd. He's the son of Abd. Okay, he is not his son of his father. He's the son of Ish, Abd. Just they wanted to belittle him. Now this become an honorific title when you say Ibn Abd. They say, you see how it changed? Okay, from being demising and belittling, now becomes a title of honor to be called the son of Ibn, because the Prophet said it. Because the Prophet said it, and he related that to the best recitation of the Quran, to the best recitation of the Quran. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud went down there next to the Kaaba. Ar-Rahman, allama. What's going on? They said, "Don't pay attention to him. He's the son of Abd." But now the son of Abd has changed. Now he's remembered in heavens, not only on earth. His recitation is heard by the angels, not those ignorant people. So, he has followed Muhammad. Go and beat him up. Now He's worthy of beating up. Before, nobody would pay attention to him. They did it to him and they carried him. He was almost fully collapsed. They said, we told you. He said, tomorrow I'll go. They said, please, that's enough. You made them hear the Quran. Anyway, it's a long story, but he's considered among the 7 great scholars of Islam.
Was he martyred as well? Is that what he was saying? He was martyred, was he? Killed in battle or something?
No. And he went in battles with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but he was not killed. Anyway, this is just a small introduction about Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. We learn a lot actually when you go to the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because you've got to really talk about the context in which that hadith was presented. We cannot just talk about the hadith without talking about the narrators. And Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu was among the great narrators of hadith as well. Okay, Bukhari is on the top. Okay, but he's very well known for his beautiful recitation of the Quran as it was revealed. This is signed by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He doesn't need anybody else. Okay, so this hadith is one of the miracles of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam that talks about the development of human beings in their mother's uterus. So something that we just discovered very recently. Nobody had any idea about it. How this, the development of human beings takes place. How creation takes place on the uterus, in the womb, in the uterus of a mother. The Prophet ﷺ is giving you now a miracle in front of you. This is the field of what do you call it in medicine? Embryology. The embryos. The embryo, you cannot see it with your eyes. You cannot see it with regular microscopes. They've got to have electronic, sophisticated microscopes to see the embryo. And this is why it was discovered later on. And there is a book that we distribute here about the embryological information that the Prophet ﷺ talked about, and even a whole book that was written by they call the father of embryology, Keith Moore, one of the great Canadian scholar, who even introduced that in his books, and they gave the copyright of that part to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And he approved of that. Anyway, it's a very long story. If you go talk about that, we'll find the time, inshallah, to talk about an interview that Keith Moore had on a Canadian TV station and how he responded to this issue. Anyway, but this is one of the great miracles of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So this hadith is telling us about the development of the embryo. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ said that one of you will be collected. Subhanallah. يجمع خلقه. His creation is gathered. Gathered by whom? Subhanallah. In the womb of his mother for 40 days. The ovum and the sperm of the father get together, and that is called nutfa. You know what they believed in embryology? How they, until the 1960s, 60 something, about the creation, how they believed. What was the scientific belief?
They came from apes and...
No, this is another thing. No, people who believe in creation. The old ancestors. Miniature human being, that the mother is passive. It's only a recipient. There is no positive and negative connection, that charges that get there. No, they say in the sperm of a father, there is a miniature that we cannot see. This is why we only speak the unseen, and they believe in the unseen as well. That comes and it grows into the womb of the mother. This is the belief that they have. And you go back to these. I checked that myself. Okay? So the Prophet, no. Yujma'u. They gather. Until it becomes nutfa. Even he used the terms that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used, Keith Moore. Because they're very accurate. They're more accurate. Keith Moore? Subhanallah, I didn't know Allah that. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar. So, ثم يكون علقة بعد ذلك. Subhanallah. علقة. علقة means in Arabic something which is hanging. علقة. When it sticks. And it's a leech. You know the leech?
Yes.
This is the علقة. Who told the Prophet ﷺ that the shape will be like a leech? Who? Subhanallah. There is no way for anybody to know at that time until recently. Let's look at something more fascinating. ثم يكون مضغة مثل ذلك. Other 40 days will become 100, now 20 days. مضغة means chewed like shape. Our backbone. مضغة. And this is what they didn't know what to call it. And this was fascinated a Thai embryologist. He said, this is the best way to describe it. And he took a gum and look at this. And this is the real shape. Very simple words that require sophisticated medical analysis, research for centuries to discover these words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see how blessed we are, ya ikhwan. Wallahi, we don't realize the great gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave us Islam. Wallahi, we don't realize it. And if you don't realize what you have, you cannot share it with others. If you're shy about what you have, you will not share it further. But if you're very proud of what you have and you have strong belief that this is the truth, you will die for it. Sometimes they die for simple causes. Saving animals, saving trees. They're not simple, and we should Muslims do that. But I'm saying it's not really like dealing with sacrifice for a great issue that is related to the creation of this universe, for your own existence. So, 40 days like that, okay? Is it? No. There is something more important. And these are introductions. If you believe in that and you'll see it with your eyes, you've got to believe in something that you will never see it with your eyes. Ever. And nobody could really find it in an easy manner. This is why when Allah Azza wa Jal said in the Quran, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ, they ask you about the soul, the spirit. What is the response? قُلُ الرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. You have no response. Ruh is come through the order of Allah. I don't know. I cannot do anything with it. So nobody will have knowledge about ruh. Because when somebody dies, they don't know what happened to him. The ruh has gone. What is the ruh? The body is there. The heart is there. There is nothing wrong with it. The eyes are there. You could even transplant it to somebody else. But can you transplant the ruh? And this is where the ruh comes. When does it comes? ثُمَّ يُرْسَلُ إِلَيْهِ الْمَلِكُ. After 120 days, 40, 4 months. And this is why in Islam you cannot, if it dies after that moment, your child become immature, it's considered a baby. And you can even make what they call it, aqiqah for it. And you could wash it and do the funeral prayer on him. This is why forced abortion for any reason should be before that period. Yeah. That period, there is a ruh. It's not a piece of flesh. No, there is ruh in it. A human being is living in the uterus of his mother. Subhanallah ya akhwan. All of us were like that. All of us were nutfa, then alaqa, leech, then midgha. Allah is telling you, and the Prophet here is telling you, this knowledge didn't come from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Impossible. Allah said to him, وَمَا كُنْتَ تَدْرِي مَا الْكِتَابُ وَلَا الْإِيمَانِ. You had no knowledge about belief or about the book. وَلَكِنْ جَعَلْنَاهُ نُورًا, light, نَهْدِهِ بِهِ مَنْ نَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا وَإِنَّكَ لَتَهْدِي إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. And you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, guide to the straight path. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't go to medical college, didn't do research. It's revelation that comes to him. وَمَا يَنْطِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَى. He doesn't speak out of himself. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَى. It is a matter of revelation that comes to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Malik, the angel, will come. فَيَنْفُخُ فِيهِ الرُّوحِ. Blow spirit on ruh into him. وَيُؤْمَرُ بِأَرْبَعِ كَلِمَاتٍ. They will be commanded with 4 words. What are they? First of all, يُكْتَبُ رِزْقُهُ وَأَجَلُهُ وَعَمَلُهُ وَشَقِيٌّ أَوْ سَعِيدٌ. The first one is his livelihood. So your livelihood has been prescribed for you. Do you need to lie for it?
No.
Do you make hypocrisy for it?
No.
Do Do you need to sacrifice your deen for it?
No.
Do you need to polish somebody's shoes for it?
No.
It is there for you. Doesn't mean not to work for it. So, doesn't mean you need to look for it, work hard for it, but not to transgress to get it, because it will come to you either through the right way or through the crooked way. You choose your own way. Okay, so this is done. You know how this introduction, we need to realize the meaning of hadith. It's not a matter of Allah, the Prophet ﷺ is not teaching biology here. He just wants to confirm belief in you that I gave you knowledge. I am Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I'm not. What he say? Giving you knowledge that nobody would know for centuries to strengthen your iman. When you find out, and this is for us, the companions, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam took this by belief. They had no scientific discoveries at that time to tell them that the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam were true, but they believed in him. They didn't question him. But this is for us, for our iman to be strengthened. Our belief in Prophet Muhammad will be stronger. Our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be greater. So our iman, and he gave you evidence. Then after that, you see, if you believe in that, you believe in your rizq that has been prescribed for you. So there are 4 things that nobody is having control over. Rizq, your sustenance, your lifespan, حياة, your life. Nobody would know. وما تدري نفس ماذا تكسب غدا وما تدري نفس بأي أرض تموت. Third, actions. Allah gave you guidance and you deal with Him. You will be going the right path or wrong path. Happiness or extreme sorrow. نسأل الله السلامة. So, brothers, طبعا when you hear this hadith, you become afraid. What's going on? I do the work of people of paradise. Before that, I'll go to hell. نسأل الله السلامة. And vice versa. So that you will not be deceived by our deeds. Sometimes if you do good deeds, you become jubilant about it, arrogant about it. And this is very bad. Sometimes people who may have been making bad deeds all their lives, but they're very humble. They seek forgiveness from Allah all the time for what they're doing. They are much better than people who are arrogant about doing good deeds. Because you are guided because of the mercy of Allah. And they went there because shaitan overwhelmed them. And the scholars say, the interpretation of this hadith, it is people who do good deeds of what people think, but inside they are hypocrites. Sometimes people go to the masjid, they are very nice, they give charity, but inside they're not, they're devilish. Just like the munafiq during the time Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hypocrites. They used to go to jihad with him, fight along with the Prophet. They fast, they do everything, but inside, this is what people think of you. And the other side, you find people who are very simple, and you think they're doing bad sins. خلطوا عملا ايش صالحا وآخر سيئا عسى الله أن يعفو عنها. They mix good deeds and bad deeds. He's doing this, he's doing that. They don't look, usually people don't look at the good thing that you do. They look at the, if you have a white thobe like this, they don't look like that 99.99% of the thobe is white, but there is a spot which is green. They will look at it, you see. And this attracts attention. But this is what people see, that those people are doing evil, but in reality they're doing well. And you find somebody who's smoking, for example, see, yes, he smokes. You discredit that. But this person in the Fajr all the time, he is obedient to his parents. He has full belief in Allah. But he's having this problem. He wants to get rid of it. He couldn't. Just like one of the scholars of Islam went to somebody who's drinking. And he said, you drink wine. Don't you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Don't you know this among dhikr? And the man cried because he was an addict. He said, Wallah, I pray day and night that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take this away from me. I couldn't. This is Imam Ghazali. He said, I came to myself. He said, oh, you think you are a great Imam. Maybe he is better in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because of his sorrow, his seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, feeling bad about what he's doing all the time. Sometimes we are intoxicated with our good deeds. We think we're doing well. We have another intoxication. You see? For this hadith is really interprets this, that whatever good we do, it's because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because we are good. And whatever bad we do, because of shaitan, and we seek forgiveness. And this tells us that we don't hate people for whom they are. Okay, we hate the action, bad deed that they do, that they might forget. If you have kuffar, you know, this man who made a film about the Prophet, this exactly describes is it Danish? Is it Danish? Danish producer who made this film about Prophet. I forget his name because their names are difficult. Who made this film, evil film about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All of us say, Hasbunallah alayhi, la'natullah. You see? And we became many demonstrations took place, people protesting all over the world, okay, against this. But this man, everybody say, what do you think of this man going to hellfire? Say, there is a high probability that he will go to. You see? This is the exact description of the hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Some people, we need to understand the hadith well. Sometimes people misunderstand the word of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and interpret them in the wrong way. So this man became, what did he do? He visited Medina and he went to the great Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and cried there. He said, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I didn't know you. I didn't know you. And he was crying. Subhanallah. You see how things could change? And there are many people who were doing good deeds and they couldn't really maintain it at the end of their lives. ولهذا, one of the great hadith of Prophet Dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu that Aisha taught us, she heard it. She was sleeping with the Prophet sallallahu would pray next to her. What was that hadith? When they asked her about the dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu what was the most common dua, frequent dua of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu when he used to make sujood in the middle of the night that nobody would see him. Allahumma ya muthabbit al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Oh Allah, strengthen the hearts to hold fast to your way. Hold my heart fast to your own way. Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit